Audio, got it. And we are live. Very well. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed friends, most esteemed judges, LVE tribe, as well as everyone listening. On this rather precious day of Shabbat, cloudy, a bit fresher, but I'm already starting to feel the heat, belonging to Shabbat Elul 14th, we are halfway. There's a rather precious moon that just came up. Spectacular. It's kind of yellow or kind of white in other areas. We're halfway through the month. We still need just a little bit to initiate the 7th month of the festivities of the year of creation, and we're in the year 5992 in our best estimation. This corresponds to September 30th of the year 2023 in the Gregorian calendar, and we shall study yet another chapter of Revelation 17, the 7 Kings and the End of Babylon, part 50. And here is the mind which hath wisdom, part 7. In this subject, I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I know it's gotten extended, but in that extension is the delicious and substantial part of this subject, and it's very, very important, especially when the rest of the world hasn't the least idea of what this so impressive a prophecy means. That's why we enjoy it, we savor it little by little, because we're living in a time that we should enjoy. In the wait for the 8th go into destruction. All is fulfilled except for the part about the 8th going into destruction. And then, precisely within that destruction, there is a fight that clearly the Bible says in the text of what we've been in the invitation. A text that's rather impressive. The text in the invitation says, let me look it up right here real quick. It says, Revelation 17:14, and they shall fight. We know that there's a fight. There's going to be a war. And the end is inevitable. The end is written. They shall fight. Who's going to fight? We shall study that now. They shall fight against the Lamb. The Lamb, we decoded what it means. It means the young Messiah or the new Messiah. And they shall fight against the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. It is a war that has an end that is written, and an end that's inevitable. There is a war. All who are within a group shall fight against the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. It's already decreed. This victory is the part where the 8th goes unto perdition through the hand of the Lamb and other hands that we shall study about. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those with him are called, chosen, and faithful. Let us seek our Elohim. Thank you, Yahweh, for this rather precious day of Shabbat. We give you thanks because we always see your blessings for us, your care. We give you thanks because you give us the energy, the patience, and that urge to continue to wait and wait for you, waiting for the Lamb to search and for the people to see him as the Lamb, for the people to incite to fight against the Lamb. All this is written, and all has been fulfilled. We only need the end, and that is why we really enjoy this subject as long as we're still waiting for the ending of this. All this we thank you for, and we hope that it's soon. We are protagonists of this story, and we ask you, the author of this story, that rather the times be shortened as you promised. In your precious name, Yahweh Sabaoth, Alleluia. Yahweh has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the Eternal Truth: Jose Augusto Lombardi Ramos, Moa Sarroche da Silva, same last name Brazil, Richard Sangrone, Venezuela, Cecilia Lobo David, Brazil, Ivan Janit Medina Fonseca, Colombia. Maria Isabel Chaclan, Guatemala. Miguel Perez, the US of A. Sergio Lozano Aguila, Mexico. Miguel Ángel Hernández Cortés, Mexico. Heriberto Junior Cañedo, Mexico. Meredith Vicente Hernandez, Mexico. Gerardo Filio, Mexico. Uriel Roblero, who is here with us today. A very happy birthday, Uriel. How old are you now? 10 years old? Uriel, we're going to be celebrating your birthday with pizzas. Pizzas that your dad made. We're going to try them out. Let's see if he did a good job. We're going to try them out. The pizzas made by Don Minto, Mr. Minto. So then, Uriel, a very happy birthday to you. We're going to be celebrating your birthday. 10 years old in this life. And Uriel was born within the womb of the eternal truth. How impressive. For all of you that I haven't mentioned you and you have had a birthday, we send you a great big hug. And to all those that I've mentioned also, on behalf of the eternal truth, many blessings. May it be your last birthday under this government of Babylon. Very well. I'd like to remind you that if you have any problems, you already know what about. You're going through something that your body shows as a sign that there's something that you have to adjust, something you have to change, something you have to investigate to know what the cause thereof is. And you've got Angelina. Angelina will listen to you. She's going to tell you where you can fix the problem and how this is adjusted and what you have to do to better yourself. All of you that are from the eternal truth or not, you're all invited to Angelina's consult. Free, absolutely free. And you get in touch with her through her Facebook, which is in the description of this video. Very well. As I've already told you, today is Elul 14. Next Shabbat will be the 21st of Elul, and the next Shabbat will be Elul 28, which will be the last Shabbat of the month of Elul, the last month, in order to enter into the 7th month. So then we have very little left, 2 Shabbats left, and the following day, on Sunday, at sunset, when the moon is seen in the 29th day, which we will see it, somebody will see it, will be paying attention. If it is seen, then we'll make the shofar sound, giving initiation to the 7th month, and this will be in a couple weeks, in the month of Etanim, also known as the month of Tishri, the festivities month. And we start with one feast right away, the feast of Yom Teruah, and that is what we're waiting for in this festivities of this month. Of course, the whole group. The Jewish group has already celebrated this. We are not following their calendar. We're following what the scripture says, which is guided by the sun and the moon, and so we have to wait precisely when the year begins, which is March, April, for the sun to have gone from the southern hemisphere to the northern hemisphere to give a start to the year. If that has not taken place, we have to add a 13th month. The Jewish people don't do it by looking at the sun or the moon, the position or anything. They do it through an algorithm created by many, many, many years ago. And they don't really pay attention, not the sun, not the moon or anything. It's just mathematical. They add a month. That is pretty well made, but sometimes the calendars get crossed because they don't follow the sun and the moon. So then that's why they are always going to have that 13th month next year, the year that they've already started, of this year that they're living now. For them, it'll have 13 months, and for us, it'll have 12 months. And so then we get together again at the beginning of Aviv, or Nisan. Very well. But we have very little left, very little left. Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, Yahweh Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, Your Elohim, or our Elohim rather, Yahweh, is one alone. This is the maximum secret of Scripture. There is no greater secret than this, and it's a secret given in voices. It's an explicit secret, but in one way or another, humans, and also Yahweh, have been able to conceal this, cover this, by giving explanations that there are either a Father and a Son, or that they are three divine beings, co-equal, coexistent, and that it's that Trinity which created the world, that they create each other continuously. They go into the role of Father and Son and Holy Spirit, but it's actually three beings and blah, 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 but they're one. It's all cover of reality. And reality is that there is only one God, all-powerful, almighty, ultra-powerful, absolutely powerful, and also absolutely alone. Alone. There was a time which our mind cannot really grasp, but there was a time that our mind should accept that there was nothing or anyone else except for him. Nothing. There was nothing. Just like that, nothing. It was him. It was just himself with himself. And with that was enough. How can our mind cannot understand where he came from? That doesn't matter. If he came from someplace, he'll explain it to us later. There's that possibility where God came from. Did he come up from another God called God? Maybe. Maybe. But what's important to understand, that at that moment he was alone. And we can forget whether he came from someplace, because that's what the scripture says. I am alone, and there's no one else that is called God. I am alone. Period. Accepting that base. So he came up with the idea in his mind, a universe. I'm going to use that word, even though I don't like it, because it just means only one lie. One place, which he was going to create beings with his own form, his own likeness, and for them to look like he does, and for them to have the creativity and maybe a part of his power, limited, but an image and likeness. Likeness doesn't mean that he's the same. Image is equal. An image is equal. But the image is not the absolute reality of the first. I can take a picture of something, I can take a picture of myself, and you can have a picture of myself. But the picture is an image of myself, but it does not have my person. It is absolutely limited to an image. That is why the Bible is so clear to say that he made humans in image. In other words, Elohim he doesn't look like a toad. He doesn't look like a beast. He doesn't look like an animal. He doesn't look like something that we've never seen. No. He looks like we look, just like we are. We are in the image of the Creator. When you see a human being, even if he's ugly, even if he has many fallacies, he is the image of God. The image of God, as it is, has two arms, he has legs, he has a face, he has two ears. That's how God is. That's what God is. He's not a force. He's not a nucleus like the Jews believe, that something that informs us. Jews, they think that he has no form, that he's formless, that he made himself a form just so that we understand the complete insanity. God has our form because we are image of that being. But it's one alone. By making us in the image and likeness of his, the likeness is what makes us equal but limited. It is like unto, I could have an original product and a Chinese product, for example, a copy. It's the image you start to see. But when you start to use it, you notice that it's not the same, the material's not the same quality. Chinese make whatever, you know what I'm saying? And it breaks down right away. It doesn't have the same virtue or strength. So then we're saying that we are an image and a likeness of the Creator. That is why we don't have power. That's why we've got fallacies of all kinds, because we're just a likeness. But in his idea of creation, he will take unto humanity unto a likeness that's even greater. I can say, I can't say that we're going to be equal to him, but something a lot more like him than what we are now. Okay. The thing is that this text, Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Ekhad, hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, Yahweh is one alone. We get the maximum secret, Yahweh Ekhad, Yahweh is one alone, only one being. There was nothing else, and he said, I'm going to create something to entertain me. I'm bored. Does the scripture say it says it just as is? I've read it so many times, and you've read it so many times, and it says, and he saw man, and how was man? Alone. Alone. What does that man represent? Alone. It represents Yahweh. Alone. He was alone. And yeah, he's bored. Alone. I'm going to make unto him a fit helper unto him, which is humanity. He was alone. And he needed a fit help. And to be like him in his majestic and marvelous mind, which we can't even fathom, he said, in order for them to be like me, they have to have my own characteristics. And my characteristics are to have a tremendous power and potential for evil, as well as to have a tremendous potential for good. A human being, a righteous and good human being, getting to perfection almost, which does not exist, but of the most just and good, that human being has to have the potential or actually the potency to be the worst and the most wicked person, the most miserable, filthy being of all beings. He has to have that potential to be that. He has to have the potency to be the most murderous, cold-blooded, heartless of them all, or else he can't be God, a human being. If a human being is limited to have, I only have a good part. The bad part, I don't even have it. He could not develop it. He could not steal. He could not kill. He could not lie. He could not deceive. You're not God. You're a very limited being. Absolutely. You just go by the light, and you're going to do something bad, and you don't even have the possibility of doing something bad. That being is not God. It's a robot, a computer. He does not have the capacity of being God. To be a God, he can do everything, both good as bad. That is what it is to be God. So then Yahweh, in his mind, he said, I have to make a race like me that has the potential of doing anything. For example, I'm going to make two brethren, the only two brethren there are, and one will kill the other. How crazy is that? It's just so that you understand the potential that we have. That a brother kills another. There were two, and one killed the other. He says, but, not 10 brothers. No. One killed the other. That is the potential of being God. That's why all of us, have the potential of being whatever. Like what was said by, I think it was Lincoln, but I don't want to make a mistake, okay? Don't quote me. You shall be, well, he said, you shall be what you should be, but we could say, you should be what you want to be. The phrase has changed. They changed it. I just paraphrased it. You shall be what you want to be. Not what you should be, but what you want to be. But you've also got those that should be, because the designer says, yeah, you're going to be whatever you want. But actually, I put a role in there that you can't get out of that role. And there you will be what you must be. But also you'll be what you want to be. Within that role, and within that no role, you'll be whatever you want to be and must be. That is why when people, human beings, they get depressed, they despair, they don't have a motive to live, that is because they have not seen the spectrum of the potential they have, an absolute potential that they have. Some develop it for evil, and others develop it for good, and for the good of themselves or the good of others, for whatever they want. You shall be whatever you want to be. You can be actually a saint, quote unquote, or a reverend son of a bitch. That is what we decide. The Bible marks you and guides you and shows you the path. But at the end of it all, the one that decides things.
For many Argentinians, this famous phrase comes from General Don José de San Martin.
Oh, yes, that's true. That's true. That's true, I forgot about that. It comes from the Mason Sir, divider of America, Don José de San Martin, who was brought up, created, and educated in England to come and give us the sensation of liberty, but rather it was slavery, a separation thereof, because the theme is divide and conquer. Southern England, through the Masons, created cells to take out the beauty, I'm going to say it like this, to take out the potential of a world power, impressive like never before seen that America would be. Spain did not have the urge to go and conquer America and form different countries. No. It was all the New World. Spain gave the best that they had. It was the best conquer that there's ever been. I know that now you've got the truths, historical truths, of the disaster that the Spaniards did, that they would kill Indians, torture them, rape them, steal from them, take everything from them. They've made up a whole story. So the kingdom of Spain was a calamity for America. I say the best thing that America could have ever happened to them, and the best thing that's happened to America, it was for Spain to want to civilize the whole brutes and Indians in this land. It was the best thing. Spain taking out all the black legends and pink ones and any other colors about the conquering of Spain in America. Spain had in mind to civilize the cultures that didn't know anything. You're going to say, oh no, but the culture was so much advanced. No, now we could see how advanced they were. We could go to tribes and we can see how much they have advanced. We can see it. We can see. You don't have to be an idiot. You can say, no, they had the Incas and the Mayas and the Aztecs. They had an advanced culture. Look, it's all blah, 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 because they would use water, blah, blah, blah. That is the advance. I don't want that advance. Not in the very least. Not in the very least. In fact, the peoples, the tiny peoples that those Indians would subjugate, added themselves to the columns of the army of Spain to bring these guys down, which were murderers, which were actually dominating and aggressive. It was impossible for a little tiny group of Spain to conquer America. All the tribes added themselves that were sick and tired of the dictatorial and murderous and terrible power of the strong, which were the Aztecs, the Mayas, and all those. So then, although Spain added themselves with us, and what did Spain do? Spain would educate. They brought colleges, schools, religion, which is a lot better and superior, the Christian religion, to whatever Indian religion. Even if now you want to say the contrary. They had the duty of planting the seed and sowing it on the earth, and they did that. And they did that in a phenomenal way. When English noticed all this, they said, we have to divide this because this is only one country, it's a block. They're going to dominate the whole world. We have to divide it and make them believe that this little group are Argentinians, they're Chileans, and they're Uruguayan, and Bolivian, and Peruvian, and Paraguayan, and you've got the Portuguese that are out of place in Brazil. So then we have to let them know that sensation that they're self-proclaimed independent to the rest, and with that we take the kingdom from Spain, and with that we dominate them all. And that is what happened. So then José de San Martin, a Mason, educated in England, working for the commands of England, went and liberated. He liberated that son of a bitch. Liberated us from what? From being a great country that South America or all of America would be. From ours. Just imagine the American continent, just one country, all of it from the U.S., not allowing the English to enter, just all one country, all speaking the same country's language, Spanish, and having the roots of being only one country, America. Who could conquer this? No one. No one would conquer this. No one. But what happens, thanks to San Martin and all the rest, that divided to conquer. That is my story, but obviously Yahweh handles this. Yahweh says, no, I'm not gonna make America all powerful. No. We're gonna divide this, divide. San Martin, go over there. Take your ideas to conquer and divide and blah blah blah. So then, I don't know where I was. Why did San Martin come up? Oh, because of the phrase, you shall be what you should be or else you won't be anything. You shall be what you should be or else you won't be anything. I reformed it. You shall be what you want to be. You shall be what you want to be or you'll be whatever else without any sense at all. That's the way it is. Why? Because we are an image of God, an image of the Creator. Never allow yourself to believe the contrary, that you're an Indian, that you're black, that you're white, that you're Oriental, you're kind of stupid, that you're a woman, that you're a man. We are image of the Creator. Our potential is incredible. When we believe that our potential is limited, that is where we enter into depression. We don't know what to do. Our potential is incredible. And even more when we learn what it is through the teachings of the Master, Reiki Gear Hammer, we notice that our potential is tremendous for good and for evil. For everything that happens to us is through our own perception and our own emotion. We're so powerful that we create a crab. We create it. We are so powerful, so successfully so, that he puts us to rest. It was phenomenal. And who created that? We did. With our power. No one came from outside. Nothing came from outside. Something foreign that you don't see. No, nothing. It was not because you were inhaling smoke. No, it wasn't that. It is our brain, powerful brain. He says, you want to have a crab? I'll make it for you. Where do you want it? I'll destroy your organs. We create. We're so powerful, so powerful. So then, when one says, I am righteous, you also have to say, I am righteous and I have a potential to be a reverend son of a bitch. So don't provoke me, because that could be the worst, the most. I don't want to say any words because then we're blocked. That could come to our mind. I could be that. It's in my mind. I don't activate it because I don't want to, but I have it there. When people say, no, I am a good person by nature, you're an idiot. Because we all have the nature to do whatever we want, just like that, to whatever we want. We could be a dominated person or a dominator, absolutely, of ourselves and of others. Or we could have a balance. We could be whatever you want to be. It comes from here, from the critical thought. With our mind, we could annihilate it, or we could also reform it, and we can also transform it. Because the phrase that I've always taught is believe and create. We are creators. We are creators. When we understand that, and we're in a bad situation, we have to create a good situation. It's as simple as that. How was this? My parents raped me, and then my uncles raped me, and I was born in a poor town. I live with all the family members in my house. I couldn't be any worse. Of course. I mean, all that was created between your mind and the mind of others. Now you can create something else. Are we powerful? In order to create another reality. And when you create another reality, then you go into another reality. There isn't another option, because we are like unto God. If you don't believe that, then you cannot understand what I teach. And if you can't understand what I teach, you're worthless to me. And if you're worthless to him, you're not in the group of those that are called, chosen, faithful, nor are you in the group that's called the Lamb. Why? Because the Lamb knows that he creates. The Lamb is not waiting. No, I need for them to recreate my situation. I live in a place where the whole world makes a bad situation for me, so then I don't have any other option than to be a victim. No, the Lamb's not a victim. The Lamb's not a victim. The Lamb creates for himself his own destiny. He creates his surroundings. He creates it. You have to create it in your mind, just like Elohim created it. I'm going to create a spectacular creation, but where did it come from? His mind. To later take it into reality, write it in a book. So then I've taught you all the steps. You want to come out of your situation, just imagine what situation you'd like to live. Then write that situation down, just like the book of life of the Lamb that's all written. Then after you write it there, after you start to create it, because you have the power to do so. But although this begins with YHWH, only one God, only one Creator, only one being. There's no Satan, who is another part of what you don't understand about the Trinity. There's no direct antagonist of God. There isn't, because he's everything. There's no one more evil than he is. There's no one more good than him. There's no one more son of a bitch than he is. There's no one more of a savior than he is. It's all him. You don't need to have either create a being to create precisely a balance. No, the balance is in yourself. The balance is in me. The balance is in me. The yin yang, it's a perfect balance. Day night complete a day. There is no day without darkness. The day is there. Day and night. That is what a day is. And it was day and night. One day in us, we have evil and we have justice in us. We cannot separate wickedness. We don't want to separate wickedness. Just a weird statement. Very weird statement. We don't want to separate the potential of doing evil. No, not at all. I reserve everything to be the most son of a bitch, and I have it present. Whenever I want, I can execute it. I have it there. I can exercise it just like that. It's very clear. But I'll reserve the right of being what I want to be, even though I have the potential of doing that. Do you understand my words? It's very difficult to say we have to be good people, eradicate the wickedness from us. No. I'm not going to eradicate anything in me. In fact, I want to understand very clearly what wickedness I have. I have in my hand what wickedness I have available to me. Do you understand that? Misunderstand what I'm saying? They're worried. You're worried. Obviously, they're weapons against evil, as Leslie says, completely. With good intentions, exactly. Whether we're righteous or unrighteous, exactly, we decide. That is why does Yahweh, the only being, anoints the Messiah and sits him on the throne as God? For what reason? What does he say? What does he say? You loved. What did you love? Justice. And abhorred wickedness. Now let me ask you because maybe you've never noticed this, what Yahweh was saying. Yahweh was not saying in the Messiah, look, you love justice of the world, you love the righteous of the world, and you abhorred Babylon, the evil, the sons of bitches, the assassins, you abhorred them. No, it's not saying that. He's saying you loved justice that you have in you, and you made it grow, and you abhorred the evil you have in you. In other words, you limited it, knowing that you have it, and you didn't use it. The wickedness there is in you. You abhorred the wickedness. You loved justice like you always were inclined in the two things that you have. Justice, truth. Then you deserve to sit, as I do, in the throne of God. The rest that gives potential to everything and handles injustice, handles all those, they cannot sit as God, because if they were to sit as God, then they would always exercise evil over people. It is very clear what it says. So then the Messiah, who is not God, creator, because he's a God for the rest, but he's not the God creator. The Messiah is not Yahweh. Taking off from that base that the Messiah is not Yahweh, it is clear in the eternal truth what no one teaches on this earth, that the Messiah is here. That the Messiah was born. That the Messiah had to be born on the 6th millennium. That the Messiah is being formed. The people don't know him. But when they do know him and they see him, they won't want him. There's going to be people that will not want him to accept him. And so then it says, let us make war against that new Messiah, against the Lamb. They all get together to make war against, you know what? You're not a Messiah. You cannot be a Messiah. You're not no one. For us, the Messiah is this person, Jesus of Nazareth, who knows what Messiah they have, or a Messiah that has not yet come. But this Lamb, no, that's not the Messiah. They shall fight against the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For what reason? For he is King of kings and Lord of lords. And those that are with him are called, are chosen, and are faithful. It's as simple as that. The Messiah, the Lamb, is not Yahweh. Yahweh is one alone. Yahweh is forming. He made the Messiah to be born in this world, and the Messiah is on the earth today. John 8:31 through 32. Then Yeshua said unto the Jews which had believed on him, if ye remain in my word, then ye shall truly be my disciples, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Free. I could talk a lot about this text, but if I start to do it today, we won't get to today's subject. Proverbs 25:2, glory of Elohim is to conceal the word. Yet glory of the Lamb, of the Messiah, of the King of Kings, is to search out the word. This Bible, the word is for everyone, but not everyone understands it, but it says the same word. Careful, because the word is for he that shall be a Messiah, but it's good for the rest. Yes, of course it's good for the rest. It is good for everyone. Whether you understand it, you like it or not, it's going to help you, but actually it is the manual, the textbook of the Messiah. That's why it says, glory of the Elohim, the creators, to have concealed the word, the guide. Yet honor of the Lamb, of the Mashiach, of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, is to understand the word. The text could not be any clearer. Impossible. Then the rest of the people that did not understand the word, or that could care less about the word, or that tried to understand it by any means, but they weren't the Messiah, they shall say in Jeremiah 16:19-21, Akarkalunga, Yahweh, my strength and my fortress, my refuge in the day of tribulation. And to thee shall come the peoples, all human beings. Those are the peoples, all the Goyim, all the human beings. And the Jews, of course, from the ends of the earth, all the whole world. And what are they going to say? And they shall say, only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. The Bible was concealed. We thought something else. We created trinities. We created a Father and a Son, a Jesus of Nazareth. We thought Jesus was going to come. Jesus cometh soon. Or to rapture us. Only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. Vanity, to which there is no avail. Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, the Son of God, the one in heaven, coming to look for you. Vanity, to which there is no avail. Just like that. No, Jesus is coming to look for anyone. Jesus, that one that's called Jesus, called salvation is here on earth. And since it happened, the way it happened, because all the story of Yahweh as Messiah of 2,000 years ago is a great prophecy of what in every aspect, the new Messiah was to live, aside from fulfilling that he had to die for his law and all the rest. But every aspect of his life is a great prophecy, projection of what the Messiah, the young Messiah or the Lamb, the new Messiah, the definite Messiah was to live. So then, he came into the world, and the world did not know him. Unto his own he came, and his own did not recognize him or know him. The Messiah comes into the Christian and Jewish world. The Christian Jewish world that is waiting for the Messiah, it's already prophesied, they won't recognize him. He came unto those that waited for the Messiah, and those that waited the Messiah did not recognize him. It is clear, we already know. That's why a little handful like this is we're going to fight against that Messiah. Why did they do against Yahweh in the form of the Messiah? They fought against the Messiah. But of course, they fought against the Messiah. They were all against the Messiah. What's going to happen now? They're going to be against the Messiah. Notice that the Messiah, in a figure, he came into the people that was waiting for him, and the people did not accept him. The leaders, even less. What's going to happen now? It's exactly the same story. It's just that the difference is there, that the mission of Yahweh as a Messiah was to die as a lamb that had been slaughtered. The mission of the Messiah of today, the only Messiah, the definite one, is wrath. It says, who shall save us from the wrath of the Lamb? Back in the time of the other Lamb of Yahweh as a Messiah, they were able to place in the cross or in a tree or whatever, same thing. That Messiah. Now they're going to try to do the same thing. That Messiah had to die. That Messiah had to go through death to annul the decrees against us and all humanity. But the new Messiah, they're going to do exactly the same thing. It's just that it's already written. The end is already written also. The end says, and the Lamb shall overcome them. It doesn't say the Lamb shall die and resurrect this next. No. It says the Lamb shall overcome them. They shall fight against the Lamb. The same story, but with a different ending because they have two different functions. Yahweh came to demonstrate that he was the Messiah. He came to die for the law, to demonstrate his creation. He subjugated himself. The only way for me to love that creator, which I do, with all my heart, with all my soul, and all my strength. Why? Because he subjugated himself to his creation. Being he the greatest, with the greatest capacity of love and justice, also executed the most injustice and wickedness. Why can I love him? Because he subjugated himself to his own creation. That no one does that. And unto his own creation, in the hands of his own creation, he allowed for his own law to send him to death. Since they couldn't kill him, he gave his life up. That is the greatest act of love. Not of love for salvation, because God so loved the world that he sent his son. No. The text is concealed, of course. Bible's concealed. What does that text say? That text says that Yahweh loved the world so much, humanity, that he himself, from the very design, interacted with humanity to such a point that he came and he made himself one with humanity, being the creator, and he gave his life for this creation, not for human beings. Due to his total project, he gave his life to say, no one here shall perish. I am demonstrating with my own life that also I will go through what the great, almost all totality of humanity, except for a little handful like this, went through. He'll go through death. And I won't let them leave them alone. I'm also going to go through that experience. Don't you worry. I'll go through that experience. I'll be dead for 3 days and resurrect. Also, giving to be understood that everyone shall resurrect. Because I came not to condemn the world, I came to save the world. And that is what the new Messiah says, same thing. I didn't come to condemn the world. I came to save the world, that this world be saved by the new Messiah. Exactly. It's more than clear. Same thing. Absolutely clear. Because the way, the truth, and life is only one thing. Yeshua, who was Yahweh's Messiah, he said, I am the way, the truth, and life. No one, absolutely no one, gets to the Father, the Creator, if it's not through me. Why did he say that? He was the Creator himself. Why? For what reason? Because, one, that you have to understand is that he was Yahweh. That's first of all. And second of all, in the prophecy of the Messiah, no one, absolutely no one, not even the first Adam, the second one, Eve, until now, not even the prophets, not the prophets, nor Abraham, nor Elijah, who went to heaven. He didn't go to heaven because heaven is down there. He went through the clouds, and who knows where Yahweh put him to sleep. Yahweh took him. He made him travel like Moses. No one on this earth, no one, can get to the Creator if it's not through the Messiah. Because the Messiah will say unto all humanity, I am the eternal truth. I am the way unto Yahweh, and I am the life, because I will resurrect you, and I will give you life, and I will teach you to live. No one out of all human beings will know nor get to Yahweh until they are trained and they walk on this path that the Messiah will give unto humanity. It's more than clear here, humanity does not see Yahweh until they go through and they traverse and they walk and understand the I am. And the I am is the Messiah. It is the Lamb. Since they don't understand it, they fight against him. It says that he overcomes them. But he overcomes them momentarily, just mortally so, for just a little bit, but he comes to overcome. Why does the Lamb overcome? Why is he going to overcome lies, deceit, wickedness, injustice of this world? That's why he overcomes. They're all going to be overcome by him. They're going to love him, the Messiah. At first, they're going to fight. They can lose their life, but the Messiah gives life because he says, I am life. I am the resurrection. So then, he has the key of Hades, of hell. So then, even though you fight against the Messiah will beat you, the Messiah will overcome you, and then later he's going to convince you. A perfect word. Overcome you and then convince you that he is the way, that he is the truth and life. And all the words which are written in relation to Jesus of Nazareth will be applied directly unto the Messiah. I am the resurrection, I am the life. I didn't do anything for myself. Everything was given to me by the Father, but now I have life in myself. I didn't have it before. Since the Creator Father has life in himself, so has he given it to his Messiah, his Son, to have life in himself. And everyone with him, he is going to give him life, and life in abundance. The Messiah is going to say, because Yahweh does not give life in abundance to no one except for the Messiah, no one else. That's why the people will love the Messiah. That's why when all humanity is ready to know Yahweh, he will know him. And he will know him only through understanding, educating themselves, and living for the Messiah. That's why do the people say only lies was the inheritance of our fathers? Vanity to which there is no avail. If it is men that maketh himself gods, then they are not God. That's why, behold, I shall make it be known unto them. This time I shall know them the strength of mine arm, and they shall know that my name is Yahweh. Today we've got Eddie in representation of our demand, which our demand, we've already got the answer. You already know it, but either way, we'd like to demand like a wife that's always like, hey, when are you going to do it? Like Eddie that is waiting for the resurrection. He wants to be alive after death and to be resurrected by the Messiah. That says, Malachi 2:17, ye have wearied Yahweh with your words, and ye say, what have we wearied him? In that ye say, whomever doth evil pleaseth Yahweh, and in such he delighteth. Or else, where is the Elohim of justice? He says, you've wearied him. He's sick and tired. Well, I believe that already Yahweh has fulfilled this. Because precisely the answer to this is that he has to send his angel, the angel of the covenant that was going to sit, that was to purify the tribe of Levi or LVE. What for? That he bring, that to make him the Messiah, to make him the Lamb, that they bring unto Yahweh an offering in justice, that they guide the whole humanity. That's the Messiah that will come, that very few shall accept. Very well. Revelation 17. We start with Revelation 17. I was reading from the beginning and I enjoyed it very much. It says, and then one of the seven angels came that had the seven cups. The seven cups. We need one cup. Whom? The Boca Juniors Club Athletic. We have 6 cups of Libertadores. We have 6. River has 4, and he didn't win them, but with Gallardo it didn't exist. Now they have 4, but it was only by luck. We've got 6. Boca Juniors Club Athletic has 6 cups, and we are now precisely with Palmeiras, the supposedly best team in America. We couldn't beat them, but we played a lot better. We danced with them. But the ball didn't enter, and the ball has to enter. I say, could it have been prophetic? I mean, stupid shit. I mean, I just imagine, because I'm a fan. Could it be prophetic? I don't know. I want the 7th one. I want the 7th cup for Libertadora from Babylon. I want the 7th one. So then, we have to win. We have to have strength. We're going, the whole world said it's impossible for Boca playing badly with a technician that is from small teams, and he's just defensive. He doesn't. Well, there's no chance for us to beat anyone. We played bad. So then to beat the last 4 of Boca Libertadores, we didn't score. None whatsoever. 0-0, 0-0. 0-0, 0-0, 0-0. And we won just in penalties. And we're like saying, hey, can we please have some luck? See what the prophecy says, what is written in the book. It'd be great for it to be written in the book. That Boca Junior would get to its 6th Copa Libertadores. Why? Because the cups would be completed, and here it says, and then came one of the 7 angels that had the 7 cups, the Libertadores. There's the 7 cups. What are those cups about? They are cups. Ariel says, Ariel's not very happy. Ariel, start to pray and start to ask for Boca to win the 7th one. If Boca wins the 7th one, then the cups are going to be completed. Yes. You have to take it, everything there. Yeah. If we want for River to buy, for the 7th one, many years have to get there. Yeah, they're our brother. They're brethren. They're our brethren. See, the thing is, all the fans of soccer, they're brethren. They're our brethren. I mean, there's rivalry, but there's no hate or anything. That's just rivalry and brethren. That's the way it is. Yes. They're my children, and yes, exactly. We treat them like children. Our sons, and because they're a brother that's a little dumb, so we treat him. We take care of him like a son. we can't be their sons because they were founded in 1901. The Athletic Club of River Plate was founded, and precisely there, next to Boca. In 1905 was the Boca Juniors founded, so then they have 4 years. So then sons like that, they're not sons, they're our brethren. But poor things, they stay there, but it doesn't matter. But River doesn't have anything to do here. River has to, so that the cups are completed. The cups have, the Libertadores cups have to be completed. Yes, exactly. Very well said. Very well said, Leslie. River has to, not just Ariel, Gaby, Alejandro, and everyone that are from River have to say, yes, let's go, Boca. Let the Libertadores Cups of Babylon be completed. We want to liberate Babylon. So here it's written, the 7th cup says, then one of the 7 angels that had the 7 Libertadores Cups. They're laughing. The Libertadores Cup of Americas, they're liberators of America. This is what the title is. That's what the text says. I'm not adding anything. Then one of the 7 angels came that had the 7 Libertadores Cups of America and spoke with me, saying, come hither, and I shall show thee the sentence. So then he will, when the cups are completed, then we'll be in the adequate time. And I tell you, this Thursday, the series is like this. Boca played with Palmeiras. It was the one that was the monster that was gonna defeat us. Libertadores is the best championship in the world. They won the title. They have the last 2 titles of Copa Libertadores. That is Palmeiras. They're Brazilians. They think that they play well in soccer and blah blah. But when the Brazilians came to Buenos Aires, they become so little. I don't know what happens. They hear the people, because the people in Brazil, they sing up very different. And here, if they play well, that is how they support their team. If they're not winning, they no longer support them. That is the Brazilian fan does. The Argentinian fan, even if we're not playing well, we still sing either way. The Brazilian idiosyncrasy that sing also is very different. If you don't believe me, then look for when an Argentinian team goes to Brazilian, you only hear the Argentinians. 2,000 against 80,000, you hear the Argentinians. How could that be? Because the Brazilians, they dance and all that. If they see something that they don't like, they start to insult, they get bored, they drink beer. They're not going to sing. It's a different kind of living soccer. I'm not criticizing them. Careful, Rogerio and all the rest. I'm not criticizing you. I am extremely criticizing you because you're so boring. You shouldn't win anything. You're the most boring people there is. You go and celebrate Carnival, but soccer, no, my. I see them. They're a calamity, these Brazilians. And the rest, don't even mention. If I go to Mexico, oh, please. The Argentinian crowd, wow. So then we all go to Brazil this Thursday. The series is like this. This Thursday, we play the definitive. If we lose, then oh well. Then fuck it all to hell. If we lose, then we have to wait until we complete the 7th one. It'll be very... So then we've got to help, because we have to win. We have to complete the 7th one, the 7th Cup, Libertadores. We have to complement it. So then on Thursday we play, and if we win, at least if we tie, and we win with penalties, if we win, what shall be defined... No. Here, yes, a lot. I have to teach them and sit with them and polish them. Here, the 4 angels are from Boca. The rest, I have to teach them. The rest are from River and all the rest. Okay, so Thursday is the semifinal. If Boca passes, let's say they pass. It's not easy, okay? Nothing easy. Because Boca doesn't play well. If he goes for Palmeira, then the cup is not going to be completed. Or the number. I don't know, we have to look for another judge quickly. He says that they're... Yeah. I started in the list of judges, their vacancies. So tell me, Gabi. Maybe we have 2 vacancies. Okay. So then, if we win on Thursday, we pass on to win the final, which will be the only... In Brazil, once again, in Brazil, against, I don't know if it's against Inter or Fluminense. We have Inter and Fluminense. They have tied 2-2. So then when Boca wins, it'll be defined already who will go to the final, if Fluminense or Inter. That'll be very interesting, because Inter visited the house of the Fluminense. 2 Brazilian teams out of the 4 goals. Listen to me, all of Brazil, pay attention. Very important news. Fluminense against Inter of Porto Alegre. They tied 2-2, 4 goals. 4 of the 4 goals, Argentina made them. Because we have to go to Brazil to teach you. I say, wow, you've seen the Brazilian teams. They have so many Argentinians in them. The one that goals is Argentinian, Can. Out of the 3 goals of 2 Brazilian teams playing the semi-final of the Copa Libertadores, the most important one, more than the Copa America and the World Cup, most important Libertadores. Out of the 4 cups of the Brazilian teams, 3 were made by Argentinian players. What does that indicate? A lot. Okay, so then out of those 2, one will go to the final, and I hope that it is, and I'm going to risk it. I don't know. I would like for it to be Inter. I don't know. I would like for it to be Inter, and out of the rest, with Palmeiras, if we win, we go to the final, which will be played later in the Maracanaibó. So then that's the way it is. And all this comes because it's written. And then one of the 7 angels came that had the 7 cups of Libertadores that belonged only to one team, and spoke to me, saying, come hither, and I shall show you the results. I hope there's a result. The sentence against the great whore, the one that sitteth amongst many waters. Magnificent, the angel, comes to show. At some point in time, John was quietly thinking about nothing, like always. And the angel comes and says, look, I need you to write this book because it's a guide for the Messiah. Write this. I'm going to show you that you write. It's not for you because you're not going to understand absolutely anything. In fact, you're going to be surprised. You're going to be astonished with great astonishment. But I'm explaining to you that there are 7 final angels that have the cups of wrath that you've all written in the previous chapter. Okay, so then in the final moment of those cups, it says, I shall show thee the sentence. What sentence? There will be a judgment. Doesn't matter. The Messiah will understand that. When you read the rest, they'll understand it. They're going to show you the sentence against the great whore. And who's the great whore? Oh, if I explain to you now, I'm going to show it to you, and you can be astonished. Great astonishment cannot be, not my Jewish people. Well, but you'll be astonished. But well, I want to show you the great whore, the one that sitteth and dominates the whole world, that sitteth upon many waters. Moving on. 2. With which, aside from dominating the whole world, with which have fornicated the kings of the earth. They who dwell upon the earth have gone drunk with the wine of her fornication. So then, since you don't understand this now, I'm going to try to show it to you, but this whore has relations, what we call illicit relations. So she dominates like a lover all the kings of the earth. Those She's the mistress, the owner. You know what a mistress is? A mistress is a woman that has a whip that sexually dominates men, and she makes them crouch and can penetrate them with a dildo and gives them and lacerates them, at least by plane, but with a whip, at least, even if it's by lies, subjugates them, puts cuffs on them, makes them a servant, even makes them walk. That's a mistress, and men love to be dominated. I don't know why they don't want to be dominated by their women, but they go to mistresses to be dominated and to be subjugated, and they're very happy. Human psychology. How many here like that? They don't even want to look at me. But how do men like to be subjugated, but not by their wife, by another woman, and so then it's kind of like they enjoy something that is in their fantasies. So then the mistress is that strong, sexy woman, sexy like a prostitute, sexy, strong and dominant, and subjugates them and does with them something that they don't want for it to even be known. Not to be known, but they enjoy the moment. Right. See, there it is. It's just for a moment. So then, in this prophecy, the angel paints it like that, like a woman that dominates. She has all man. She has them like dominated. Who are the men? The kings of the earth. That's why it says, with which have fornicated the kings of the earth with this woman, and they who dwell upon the earth have gone drunk. Not that she dominates him, she dominates the kings, that in turn the kings are dominated by the prostitute, so then the men are dumb. They're stupefied. They don't even know what's going on. They're drunk. They are drunk. They have become drunk with the wine of her fornication. So then out of the laws and the things that they plan and do, they who dwell upon the earth, they drink them and they're stupefied. And he took me, here comes the mission. He told them, I'm going to show you this, John. And he took me in the spirit into the desert. We clearly know that it'll be a stage where there is nothing, and the stage where there is nothing is the sixth one. It is the sixth king. Why? Because in the sixth king, he's dominated by the Muslims, by the Arabs, anything that is the whole land of Israel, and with Jerusalem, they did a disaster. So then it all became a desert. It would seem that the prophecy was to be a desert. And then later with time, they built a mosque that was close to the temple of the rest. All that you already know. Why? Because it was desert, the land of no one, just theirs. And he took me in the spirit into the desert. And he saw a woman that sitteth upon a scarlet beast. That is the political power. It represents the kings of the earth. First told him, a woman that fornicates with the kings of the earth. So then, later, when John sees that, John sees a woman sitting upon a beast. The beast is the power. And the specific power, so then when she is sitting upon the woman, it means that she dominates the beast. So then, she has control upon that beast, that woman. That's what I'm telling you. A mistress that controls every king of the earth, subjugates them, humbles them, humiliates them, and does with them whatever she wants. Control. So then that beast, I'm telling to you now, represents the kings of the earth. Notice that John does not see the kings of the earth. He sees, first he said, you're sitting and dominates the kings of the earth. Look at how the first text says, I have so many texts here that are left. And the first one says, and the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So then, if that's what's sitting upon many waters, what does it mean? It means, and then there's number 2 that says, with which have fornicated the kings of the earth, and they who dwell upon the earth have grown drunk with the wine of her fornication. So then I saw, and he took me in the spirit into the desert to a special place in this story, and I saw a woman representing this prostitute, this mistress, upon a scarlet beast, that beast of the kings of the earth that fornicate with her. Now you see it a little bit different. Filled with blasphemous names, and that had 7 cups and 10 horns. Well, those are symbols that we're going to see as this prophecy develops. And the woman, John starts to see her, was dressed with purple and scarlet. What? Just like the Jewish priests, just like the priest of Israel, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Wow! And in her hand was a cup that was just like the cup that the high priest uses. Had in the cup a cup filled with gold, filled with abominations and of the abominations and filth of her abominations. So then he starts to recognize the pattern of something known for him. That's why he starts to get surprised. And in their foreheads a name written. Why? Because the high priest had in his forehead a name also. The name said, holiness unto Yahweh, holiness unto Yahweh. It's not what you think it is, okay? Because when you see holiness unto Yahweh, you say he's a saint. No. And it says set aside for Yahweh. This is the only one set aside for Yahweh. That high priest that represents also the Messiah, okay? Represents the Messiah. So then he has a sign here that says he's already separated, predestined. He is, what was the word? The other word that was the one that we were talking about last Shabbat, the lamb that was had as if slaughtered unto Yahweh, because he could have perfectly well, and it says sanctified, set aside, elevated, destined unto Yahweh. That's what the sign says. The word to sanctify, we in Spanish has a different connotation. Some guy doesn't do anything. He's a saint with an aureola. Oh, no, not that. The word holy or kodesh in the original Hebrew language means set aside. This is kodesh. I have to set aside. And it is with a special purpose, elevated for something, set aside and elevated for something. And I could also say, what was the word? As if it had been slaughtered. Very ill used, but it's sanctified, set aside. The beast, since it represents a Jewish priest, it no longer says holiness unto Yahweh, but it says something else. It says mystery. Babylon the Great, the mother of the whores and of the abominations of the earth. Instead of saying Yahweh, set aside, or Yahweh Kadosh, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it said in the pronunciation of the rest. Instead of saying set aside unto Yahweh, consecrated, same thing, consecrated. Instead of saying consecrated unto Yahweh, the prostitute says Babylon the Great. But who was that? What he recognizes as the Jewish people, what he recognizes as the Jewish religion, the power, he recognizes it. He recognizes, but he says, hold on, it doesn't say set aside for Yahweh here. No! What's it say? Babylon the Great. Exactly. That's fine. Of course, that is what the word would be. But the thing is that we have, yes, they in the translations, slaughtered could have been slaughtered. See, that's what happens. Very well. So then, John starts to recognize. He says, "What's going on here? I know this. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints." He knows perfectly well. If he doesn't, he's going to find out that his beloved people, of which he is a citizen, is the most murderous people of all history, next to Yahweh, made a human incarnated in a human being, he should have heard it when he told all the priests and the scribes and all the tax collectors there in the temple, saying, "You're the murderers. You come unto the graves of your fathers," and says, "How did they kill the prophets, our fathers?" This is, "You're the sons. You're so murderers," and you give proof that you're the sons of the murderers. But not just that, you'll be murderers because you're going to try to kill me. And the prophets that I send you, you're going to kill them because you are murderers. You are just as guilty because the blood from Abel will fall upon you. John should have heard that. And so then now he sees her drunk with the blood of the saints and the blood of the martyrs of Yeshua. And when I saw her, there it is. He had already seen her. I've explained this before, but when I saw her, it's not when I saw her. It's when I recognized her, who it was. I was left astonished with great astonishment. Why? Because he noticed that the people to which he belonged was the beast, was the prostitute, was the evil of the world. And I'm talking about evil controlled by Yahweh. But of course, necessary. It is the chosen people for everything. When we talk about Israel, the chosen people, it's Israel, the chosen people. Beast, to be the antagonist, to execute the plans. It is the chosen people for everything, all the roles that they had to play. Very well. Drunken with the blood. In other words, she's also drunk. Very well. He sees it very clear, and you can clearly see it in this prophecy. I'm saying the more I study it and I read it, and always I repeat it every day, I say, the clearer that I see it, because the more you repeat it, the more it integrates into your being. How many know this by memory? By memory. I don't know it entirely by memory, but I can quote it. But the more you read it and integrating it into your mind, you read it once a day. If you read it twice a day, it's kind of like you have the vision that John had, and you get to almost like to see what John was seeing, and you don't understand how someone could see that this beast is the Catholic Church. You start to say, how could they be so blind? We were blind like that. It's more than clear. But now, having seen the truth, once you open your eyes, there is no turning back. You cannot turn back. You'll say, I sure was blind, but of course no one explained to me the contrary. That's true. No one explained to me the contrary. You know that white Mercedes? It's from Amazon. They come in Mercedes to hand out. You know, in the U.S., they shovel the money. No, there's so much hungry that even those with Mercedes-Benz, they don't even know how to kill. And they hand out with Amazon. See, he's an Amazon delivery. Why? Because they have expensive cars, and it's all so expensive. The economy is such a disaster. They say, what do I do? Well, I start to be like a delivery, at least for Amazon, for the Masons, Amazon, for whatever, to pay for the quote of the car. It's not in the other way. They say we're drivers and we use Mercedes. Nobody wants a Mercedes because they're difficult to repair and they're all expensive and they're not that good, and so they're not convenient that way. But when you have to pay for them, which is what we're going to do, they take my car or I do whatever. I'll do whatever. See, the economy is so bad. It's absolutely bad. Very well. So then, the more you study this prophecy, the more you start to see why they can't see it in a different way. It's so clear. It's way too clear. It's so vivid. The scene is way too, with the keys, that they take you out of any doubt. How could they twist anything? Humans are the best in twisting everything, absolutely everything, and denying the rest. I get surprised how, I don't know if it's unfortunately or a blessing, that the people watch the videos even less. They watch them less, they comment less. It's kind of like even you yourselves are kind of like losing interest, and when we should have even most interest than ever is now, when we should every day think, wow, how much is left? A month, a day, a week, or our whole year? Because we're in the moment of this letting loose in my mind, or we could wait because it's all fulfilled. This is imminent, or we could wait some time. But what I'm trying to say is that it is ready for it to be let loose today. We just need something for Boca to win the 7th Cup of Libertadores. I'm just playing. Don't forget that. On Thursday we play. Have it present in your mind. We all have positive thoughts, but not because you're a fan of a team. Think about it, prophetically speaking. Just like that, prophetically speaking. Maybe it'll become like that. No, not maybe. Maybe not. But we'll think about it. If for the most glorious team of all the earth, of gold and blue, even if you don't understand it because you are from the chickens, but you say, oh, how beautiful colors. I would rather be dressed with blue and gold, not white, with some line with blood here. Of course, because when I look at the river of Peru, it would seem that the guy was running with a white jersey, and they either shot him in the shoulder, and it crosses with blood like that. You know, like when you see movies, and it's like, oh, he put a river jersey. No, he's wounded, so it's like kind of slaughtered. The glorious colors of blue, which is the color, well, I'm just going to say something stupid, called color of the law. We don't like that law a lot, but it's a color that Yahweh chose that color, and the gold, which is the sun. Wow, how magnificent. I prefer that. Never a white and red shirt. They criticize us that we chose blue and gold because it is the Swedish flag. That is true. In 1905, some friend says, we're going to make a team. What do we make it? That from the Boca, the football club of the Boca. It's from Buenos Aires port. It was very, very of the working class, of the very poor class. The Italian immigrants would come there, and 500,000 people would come there. It would not just happen to your family, but it would happen there in Boca, and they would, like from El Chavo del Ocho in the community, and they would all go out in the yard like that. Well, those were the, what did I say that they were? The what? The cometillos. The cometillos of the Boca. Many have not been destroyed, but have been kept, and it was like museums. Some are still there living there, but it's kind of like markets, places of commerce. So then there was a group that said, "Hey, let's make a team, and what color should we use?" And they said, we're looking at the port here. The first ship that passes, the flag that passes, that'll be the colors. What if it's not prophetic? They left it to chance, the colors, and they were waiting for the first ship to pass, and then we see a ship that had to pass. I mean, what if? Oh, what if I'm already trembling? What if it was an Italian one? We would look like Mexico playing, because Mexico is a copy of Italy, and they put an eagle and says a Benny. you don't even know what it is. You have to look that whether it's an eagle and if there's a serpent, because it's a literal, absolute copy entirely of the Italian flag without offending. But if it was an Italian one, we would look green and red. I would die. I would die. So then what happened, perfectly speaking? It says, no, stop. No Italian. And this Spanish one, no, not that either. No, not the Spanish colors are the worst in history. Yellow and red. Wow, you have to, today, in two Masonic columns. Just look at it. Two Masonic columns. Wow. So then he says, and Yahweh said, hold on. Don't let an Italian one, nor the English one, nor anything. Oh, Portuguese. If a Portuguese one, I would die. So then he says, what ship? And Yahweh said, I like my preferred colors. Let the one from Sweden pass. And it was a Swedish ship that passed by with the blue and gold like this. And the guy said, wow, blue and gold. And that's where we get the blue and gold of Boca is the real story. You're learning everything. I'm educating you. Learn. That is how the most glorious colors are blown. If Boca Juniors plays the Club Atlético Boca Juniors. Ukraine also has that. There are some that have that. That would be great too. I'm such a fan of Boca Juniors that I'll tell you something so you understand. If Boca plays against the Argentinian, against Messi and all that, who do you want? Who do you think I want to win? It's not a friendly. If it's a friendly, I want for Boca to win. If it's because of the Cup of the World, the most important one in the world, who do you want to win? The Argentinian team with Messi, with all the stars, against Boca that has whomever. We're playing against whomever. Who do I want to win? The Boca, and to beat them and to embarrass them. My whole life between Boca and the selection, you already know. A true fan would say, I wanted to beat Argentina and to grab their Brazilians and to score 30 on them. To grab the Mexicans, and another 20, just a little less. Brazil, a little more. The whole rest of the world, but for Argentina to really overcome them, those are the colors of the Boca Juniors Club Atlético, so then we need the seventh one. Why are you astonished? The angel says, I shall show you the mystery of the woman and the beast that brings her, that hath the 7 cups and the 7 heads and the 10 horns. The beast that thou hast seen was and is not, and is about to go up out of the abyss and to go unto perdition. And they who dwell upon the earth, they whose names are not written from the foundation of the world in the book of life, shall be astonished, seeing the beast that was, and is not, and shall be. It is very clear. No one understands this. What are you laughing about, Leslie?
No, it's just that Rogerio is saying for you to send those from Boca Juniors to his dental office so that he can fix their teeth.
He should fix them well, without any graphene, and for free. Rogerio is wants Palmeiras to win. Well, you have such vacancies here. Write down all the ones that said, not going to forget treason, you cannot forget it, nor is it forgiven. Write down everyone that put anything in favor of the Palmeiras, and something that wrote down something in favor of Boca, and that's on a different list. That's the way it is. I'm just letting you know, okay? I'm just letting you know. It's all the same thing. It's a whole package. It's a package. Like when you get married and you say it's a package. With defects and virtues, it's a package. Very well. Moving on. You start making the list for me. It'll go directly to the list of the judges. Start putting X's all over the place. Okay, oh, this is so hot. Very, very good. Why are you astonished? He says, the beast that thou hast seen existed, is not, and is about to go up into the abyss and go into perdition. And they who dwell upon the earth, they whose names are not written from the foundation of the world in the book of life, shall be astonished, seeing the beast that was, and is not, and shall be. In other words, I'm not going to say we. There is a group on earth, only one, that is alive when the beast appears, that is not astonished. Why are they not astonished? Because he recognizes her. It knows what is written and knows its end. Now the rest, that is not written in the book of life with a protagonist role, I've explained that. They're all written in that book. Every human being that has been born is written in a book that shall be born, because the Creator created his whole army. And the sixth day he completed the army on the sixth day. So then every human being has a creation designed by the Creator. But of course, some don't have a protagonist role. So then those who don't have a protagonist role, directly speaking like this, that is not the Lamb, nor those that follow him, when they see the beast, will be astonished, and shall say, who is like unto the beast, and who can fight against her? That is what they will say. That's in Revelation 13. But in 17 it says, they shall be astonished, seeing the beast that wasn't, and is not, and shall be. That means worship. That is the astonishment, accepting. And here comes the text number 9 that gives the title to our subject. This is for the mind which hath wisdom. And in English says, and here's the mind which hath wisdom. Which is the mind that hath wisdom? The mind of a king. The mind of a king is the only one that of a king of Yahweh's, mind you, not an earthly king. A king that Yahweh considers to be king, that Yahweh would go up into the throne, that Yahweh will anoint and will tell him, your throne, O God and King, is like unto the forever and ever, because you have loved justice and abhorred wickedness. That is why I'm making you a Mashiach, for that same reason. Having all the possibilities, you always chose this, and you understand that you have the possibility. That is the mind which hath wisdom, that understands this prophecy. The 7 cups are 7 mountains. And I believe that this prophecy divides those that have wisdom or not. That is more than that. Those that are part of the Lamb and those that aren't. No one, I'll risk to say no one that does not understand this prophecy the way I'm explaining it. Not that they think they understand it, that don't understand it just as, and not just as, but on my behalf. And it could be a part of the Lamb. I'll repeat it so that it's not cut up. This is for the mind which hath wisdom means all those that comprehend Revelation 17 given by the eternal truth will be a part of the Lamb. Now the rest cannot be a part of the Lamb because they had to have understood this prophecy to perfection. This Yahweh had and all the rest. This is for the mind which hath wisdom. This is for the mind which is trained and instructed by the eternal truth. The 7 cups are 7 mountains, upon which the woman sitteth, and they are 7 kings. 5 of them are fallen. One is, and the other one is not yet come. And when he cometh, it is necessary that he last but a brief time. Marvelous. We've studied this entirely. Marvelous. Absolutely marvelous. 5 of them are fallen because they are in the desert, which are the first head. which is the first kingdom that had that land and that founded the dominion. Who was the first one? Israel. Who was the second one? Babylon. Who's the third one? The Medes and the Persians. Who was the fourth one? Greece. Who was the fifth one? Rome. In the time of the Messiah, which was Yahweh in that time. Fifth one. One is the sixth one. Who is that? Who dominates in that desert? The Muslims. They who inhabit the desert. That's why it takes you to the desert, the inhabitants of the desert. They are they who dominate the desert, the inhabitants of the desert, the Arabs. One is, it is a time of no one. And the other, the seventh one, has not yet come. You're in the time of the desert. It'll be a very long period. Hundreds and hundreds of years, these Arabs are going to dominate this whole zone. And the seventh one has not yet come. It is away from you, John. It comes after the desert. The other one has not yet come. Notice the war of the U.S. against Iraq. What do they call it? The Desert Storm. Why? Because all these sons of the desert, which are these, all these, it's considered the desert. That's why it's in the desert. Their dominion of the Arabs. But it says, a seventh one cometh. The other one is not yet come, the seventh one. And when he cometh, it is necessary, he says, it is fundamental, it is part of the prophecy. John says, why are you giving me all that information? I am living, and I don't even know what time. He was living in the fifth one, Rome. I don't even know what time I'm living in because I cannot, I don't even understand anything. Now you tell me that the fifth one lasts a brief time. Why do I want that information? It's not written there, but I'm just reading between the lines. It says, John, shut your mouth and understand. Because this is for the Messiah, it's not for you. How are you going to understand? Just go and write, or else how are we going to make the book for the Messiah? And what do I say in the beginning? This is the wisdom which God, the Creator, gives in the Messiah. This book is for the Messiah, precisely. The whole world says, but the whole world's going to read it, they're going to understand it, they're going to think they're the Messiah. No. There's no one on this earth that by reading this book, they're going to think that they're Messiah. All the contrary, John says, are you fucking with me? Because that's the way he spoke with him. Are you seriously? Are you fucking with me? No, John, just relax. Those that read this book, the least thing that they're going to think about is that he's the Messiah, but not even crazy. In fact, there's going to be a Messiah. He's going to see a Messiah far away. He's going to think that that Messiah is the Jesus that you knew. Nah, John says, are you sure? John, we're writing it in a way that it is encrypted. It is concealed. We've never read Proverbs 25. This is, we're going to conceal it. So then those who read Revelation, they're going to understand anything. We're waiting for the destruction. In fact, he's going to call apocalypse any end of the world. And this is an apocalypse. They're going to think that it's an end of the world, but it's so different to what the book says. Actually, they're not going to understand anything. It says, don't you worry. But when the Messiah reads this, he's going to say, wow, this really makes sense. Apparently somebody wrote it for me. That's why, John, shut your mouth and write. And John says, okay. What do I write? Write this. The beast that was, and John's writing, and John says, and it's not, it's also the eighth. And John says, wait, weren't they just seven? And then he says, John, shut your mouth, let me continue. Right. And it's also the eighth, it's one of the sevens. Oh, John, okay, now I understand. And it's from amongst the seven, and goeth unto perdition, as it says, but it goes into entire destruction. Wow. Now I understand, but what I didn't understand is the seventh one says, should. It is necessary for it to last such a brief time. It says what? Because it's a kingdom that is insignificant, that it will be given his power over to the eighth. The eighth needs to be the victim unto the whole world. The eighth one needs to make a world war, the first one, which will be called in the world the first one. That world war has the objective of casting the wild asses out. Who? The sixth head. Pardon me, John. The First World War has its objective only, but there's going to be a war of all the nations. Yeah, but it's concealed. It's like always. It's like they're fighting for something, but it's a different time. The motive, only one, and main one, were millions of people. But millions of people, it's worth it, and for the beast it is. Don't you see that she's drunken with the blood? It's going to make a world war, saying that it's because of this and that, there and there, but concealed is going to be to take out the sixth head, the territory, just for that. And that's how it'll turn out exactly in 1917. Shall she take the head from the sixth one, and the seventh one will come that shall last but a brief time. It's a kingdom. It's a kingdom also. Yeah, it's called the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is only the transition that the eighth take the power, that cannot take it unless that transition takes place. So there's going to be a first war to take from the map the sixth head. The seventh one enters. And when the seventh one is ruling, another war will be invented. Another one? Yes. Because the seventh one doesn't want to rule forever. The seventh one understands that their government to hand over to another doesn't have the aspiration, knows that it's not their land. It's a kingdom that's far away. A united kingdom, all they want is to give that kingdom, that land, unto its true owner, which is one of the seven. But it is the eighth, and goeth unto perdition. So then he must last but a brief time. He knows it, because he wants to give that kingdom unto the eighth. And how's he going to hand him over? He's going to hand him over through another world war. In that world war is the victim presented. The victim. With the victim of the Holocaust, we achieve everything. So then the people that presents that Holocaust, but of course they do a great Holocaust. The people themselves do it. Careful, the very people, they do a great Holocaust. And it's kind of like that sacrifice, that lamb that is kind of like slaughtered, that they understand it. More than slaughtered, it's kind of like killed with gases and ovens, toasted, that lamb. Actually, he's a son of a bitch, but it's kind of like they put gases and into the oven. It says, with that excuse, the entire world will say, the entire world that is not written from the beginning of the world will be a protagonist. They're going to say, wow, yes. This country, this people need their land. They were persecuted for such a long time. They were kicked out from different countries, rejected, and now they put them into an oven. This could not be. Not just do we have to give them the land that they deserve, we're going to give them land. And even up until today, Germany and all the countries, the US of A and everything, they paid millions and millions of dollars in the reparation of all these, with tithes and everything. The first tithe, second tithe, 100% all for them. This is, and here are we. And gloriously so, 30 years after that date, the United Kingdom says, I'm out. And the very next day, the government of Israel declares, the supposed kingdom of Israel declares themselves a government, and they declare the state of Israel an independent state in the world. They had forged the prophecy. It had been fulfilled to the letter, the eighth, that was dead, but was one of the seven, and had resurrected and had taken its time once again. 1948. The prophecy, in an astonishingly way it had been fulfilled, every head, in an incredible manner. Who understands this? Only the Messiah. Not the rest don't understand absolutely anything. 12. And the 10 horns that thou hast seen are 10 kings that have yet received a kingdom, but for an hour they shall receive authority as kings along with the beast. When is this fulfilled? This, in my understanding, was fulfilled in the year 2019. This, when the 10 kings get together, and after the government it had already fulfilled its first generation, 70 years, and between the 70 and the 80 are the 10 kings gathered together, which should be the top dogs, the ones that call the shots in the deep state, as they call it, hidden of the earth in totality. They get together with the beast. What does it say in the 10 kings? Horns that you have seen are 10 kings that have yet to have received the kingdom. So then those kings, only the beast would reign over them with all the kings or the presidents of the earth. But there comes a time in which it comes very visible, this union, that has never been seen before. That moment, in my understanding, was fulfilled in our time, under our very eyes, in the year 2019, when a command is given that something exists and that the entire world is left in suspense because they have to crush the curve, they said. We also said that we have to crush the curve. And we said it 1,000,000 times. Crush it like this. But then they copy us in a different sense. They have to crush the curve of the effects that unknown attacker says that I can't even mention, that toxin that they themselves shot up because they go conquering, and to conquer, it is the white horse. A goalie that I can imagine has a red line here is the first beast. The white horse, if you see it like that, I'm going to show you. They have a very known jersey, white with something red. There's the white horse. So then, that white horse, a traitor, that worthless white horse that comes to mark. You see that the lords that work in these places where the people go and help themselves, how do they dress? White. And when they're operating, some blood jumps up, and how does it look? A red line like this. So they're operating, and what's it look like? Those colors are represented by the pharmakeia, exactly. But of course, that's why, with my whole soul and life, go to the glorious blue and the gold. Where I haven't seen a pharmakeia dressed like that. No, they're all white and red. White horses. Have you ever seen? You've got the blue one. No, you have. You don't see the blue one. It's not there. And the red one, it doesn't exist. It has like green like that. You think it's yellow. It's not yellow. It is the white one that you already know. First the beast, the pharmakeia, white, red, and then the black one, and the yellow that's not yellow. It says it's not gold. They don't have gold. Gold is greatness. It's gold. And blue, wow, represents the sky, the sea, water, life. All that it represents. Absolutely. It represents all that. So then, how I'm teaching you, right? So then, when does this take place? I'll read it again. And the 10 horns that thou hast seen are 10 kings that have yet received a kingdom. Since the prostitute was to reign, this mistress was to reign, it'll all be confabulated the Ekhad would come up, but something is still missing at the end of the times. In the very last time, John, is this the very last time? And how much is an hour? That's a mystery. An hour, you just get an hour. Prophetically speaking, in 15 days. But of course, you can also translate it with another time. When the Messiah notices that the kings did something, it is because they give the power to the beast. That's it. So they are in the last hour. Where are we? I can assure you, we're in that last hour. The 10 horns that thou hast seen are 10 kings that have yet to receive kingdom. But for 1 hour, they shall receive authority as kings along with the beast. There's the secret. There is, they can get together in the gathering and the 101 of the Lord. All that is related. To visualize and to get the whole people together in a pandemic of something to stop the whole world and say, here are we, and here's the solution, and from here on out, it is the obligation, whatever we say. It's never been seen before. When you see that, you're in the last hour. In the last hour. These have one same purpose. Let me ask you, have they seen one same purpose in all the governments of the world? Like never before. Look, like never before. You've never seen one same purpose in the governments of the world. Never, ever. It's never been seen. From 2019 and on, we've seen that purpose gathered together, all gathered. They have one same purpose. They shall give their power and authority unto the beast. And who is the beast? We already know who the beast is. But which is the beast's weapon? It is more than clear. The weapon of the beast are the people dressed in white. But of course, I can't even mention them. The weapon of the beast is the pharmakeia. And I can mention it until we can't anymore. But that is in Revelation. What's it say that the whole world was deceived by what? By what? How was the whole world deceived? By what? Because of what? It's more than clear, because the Messiah has to understand this. Not because it is taken from out of his ass, as in English, to say something softly, to get an explanation, just whatever, and the people say, well, no. It's not pulled out of his ass. No. What does out of his ass mean? I don't know. I've heard it in English. I don't know what it means. But it says out of his imagination. It's not pulled out of his imagination. Revelation 18:23 says, light of lamp in Babylon shall no longer shine in thee, and the voice of the bride and husband shall not be heard in thee, because your merchants were the great ones of the earth, because precisely all your great corporations were the powerful of the earth. It is more than clear. Because of your pharmakeia, in your Bible it says witchcraft, and it says witchcraft, but that's a translation into Spanish. The word, look it up, and it says, because of your pharmakeia were deceived all the nations. That's it. The means to deceive is not a false god, mind you. No, not a religion. A religion's the one of the white. That is the entire religion. They don't notice it. They don't present it to you like a religion, but it's a religion with its priests that are them, and their high priests that are the Lord that directs the association, the World Association of this, of the white robes, which is a son of a bitch, a reverendous son of a bitch. You know what it is. That's what it is. That is the high priest of them all. Maybe there's another high priest concealed. Doesn't matter, but it's a religion. People don't see it like a religion. The people think, Christians, that the Antichrist that does not exist, that is they themselves, that the Antichrist comes to deceive you with a false god, a false religion, and in fact, He's going to see the Lamb like the Antichrist. I'm going to be so embarrassed. I'm going to be so embarrassed, but, I mean, why are they going to say, you're the Antichrist? You are the Antichrist. So prophesied in the Bible, we are waiting for Jesus, the Son of God, the second person in the Trinity, and he's going to come to rescue us. But you are prophesied as the Antichrist. I mean, how awful. They told Yeshua the same thing. When Yeshua, Yahweh, was on earth, same thing. They told him, you are from Beelzebub. Who gives you power? Beelzebub. You do the powers due to the powers of the demons. The very same priests told him that. So I'm the Son of God. How are you going to be the Son of God? You are the son of a prostitute. That is what they told him in his face. And in the Talmud they wrote, son of a prostitute with Pantera. Pantera was a Roman soldier. That is Yeshua. What do you think they're going to say of the Messiah, the Lamb, the new one? They're going to say, you are the Antichrist that we saw in so many movies. Don't believe him. He's going to have to go through the rest, the pacification. They're not going to want to understand this. They don't understand it now. They come in and insult the channel here. They tell us some text and make me laugh. If there are any people against us today, there's no one against or in favor. Make the list, okay? Make the list for me. Of the Palmeirinha people, oh, give us like. Of all the Palmeirinha that like Palmeirinha, make the list for me. There is no forgiveness here. Of course, that's why we have no one left. There's no forgiveness. They have not encountered the wrath of the Lamb yet. They all know that whatever thing that dress in white and red belongs to pharmakeia, accept it and come out from. Thank you for the likes, even though we have less. More people would see us before. The people are losing interest. I find that to be, well, I think it's being reduced until we get to 70. Make the list for me. Yes. They're already. I think I've made way too many. When I get more clues that Yahweh gives me, I have to take out from the list. Is it this one? This one should not be here. Don't you see what colors they like? Oh, okay. Well, fine. And we'll start to delete everything. Okay, moving on. It says these 10 kings, which I want you to understand something. Because you have to understand it in case my words are difficult or they don't come out in the way they should. The 10 kings govern and they receive power in the last instance. Because the following that comes up, it says they shall fight against the Lamb. They have not fought against the Lamb yet. So then, no matter the whole story of the eighth, that the eighth was born in 1948 perfect, that he recuperated the perfect city, it's all perfect, but the end is marked by the 10 kings. Why? Because the 10 kings is the final. I had not highlighted this before, that's why we're reviewing this and we're taking things out that are impressive. And the 10 horns that thou hast seen are 10 kings that have yet to receive kingdom. It says they're going to live during the age, but they don't have a kingdom. They don't have a real power. But for an hour they shall receive authority as kings along with the beast. That only takes place in the last instance. And why would Elohim give authority to them along with the beast? Because it is the sign of the white horse. The white horse comes out riding, conquering, and to conquer. And in his hand he has a bow. It's a toxin in the original language. Goes out to dominate. To dominate whom? Those who were written in the book of the Lamb from the beginning of the world. Simple as that. It's as simple, absolutely as that. So then, in what moment are we already within the hour, and the hour could be advanced. It is a mystery how long 1 hour will last, because not 1 hour, it's a short time. Very short time. But we should not even have to wait for the 10 kings to take power. The 10 kings already received the power, and they handed it over to the beast, and they shut the world in. They made the world's prohibitions, commandments, and obligations. New ones. Commandments. Mandates, as they call it. You have to protect yourself. You have to do it. Or else you're outside of the system. Already, they handed their power over and authority. And how could it be? Through what means could they deceive? It is very clear. They deceive all the nations through pharmakeia. They shall fight. Next, when the time in which we're living in shall end. We don't know when could it be. It could be today. Today, it could perfectly well be today. And what will it indicate? First, the Lamb has to receive something to become notorious. Now it's a lamb that nobody watches him. The lamb is spread out in the world, and not even his mom knows him. And look how many are we? No one. Now it's invisible. It's not a lamb of anything. He's an ox. He says, look, I'm a part of the lamb. They're going to say, what? Are they going to make you a barbecue in Christmas? What lamb are you talking to? Are you an idiot? Jesus of Nazareth, that's God, the lamb. Now, not even they themselves can believe it. Some do. I believe it. It's not that I believe it, I know it. What I feel. But the lamb is not habilitated yet. He's bound, subjugated, and waiting to be liberated. What is the liberation? The empowering of the Lamb. All those that are a part of the Lamb will receive the authority of the Lamb. Just like these kings received it, the Lamb at some point in time has to receive it, and when it receives it, it'll be notorious in the world. And when the world notices it, it should also be noticed by the 10 kings and the beast. And the 10 kings and the beast shall say, oh, no, 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 no. Let's fight against this lamb, the one that thinks that he's the lamb. It is not, but it is. He is. And we shall crush this lamb, little lamb, this new Messiah. That now, no one knows him because he is in a state of preparation. They shall fight against the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those that are with him are called chosen and faithful. Here it could be many groups, or it could be only one group, or it could be only two groups. What is this? Well, I, in my interpretation, by joining together all the rest of the facets of the same prophecy, 4 angels bound, that later are unbound and have an army of 200 million, the Son of Man, the judges, the people of the saints. When I'm gathering all the details, like of a giant puzzle, and I place every piece where it goes, there are some that forcefully I try to place them there and they don't enter until they start to enter and they are formed, these images, and you say, wow, it all coincides with everything like a magic cube. It all looks good. Then I understand that here there are two groups. The group of the Lamb is a group of the judges, the supreme judges, no one else. Just like that. The supreme judges and no one else. That is what the Lamb is. Those that Yahweh has written in the book as judges. Because in another portion of the Bible of Revelation, we read something which gives us light of who these are. in some point in time, whoever wants to see light. Revelation 24 says, and I saw thrones, and in the thrones kings sit, and upon them sat those who received the faculty of judging. Who received the faculty of judging? It's already been given, and judgment has been given. That's where there's a sentence against Babylon. So then here, in my understanding, I could be wrong at some point, in my understanding, that not even one is added that was not in the judgment, because they are judges. I'll read it again. And I saw thrones. They're not explaining to them. John's seeing that I saw thrones. And the thrones are kings sat, because and at the same time they're judges. And upon them sat those that had received the faculty to judge. They had received it. But they will judge someone else. No, no, no. Those that are already judged, those that are judges, those that received the faculty to judge. And I saw the souls of those that had been beheaded due to the testimony of Jesus and the word of God. And says the rest dead. That's what he's saying. And notice how the rest that were dead, that had not worshipped the beast precisely, they did not subjugate due to the pharmakeia, nor its image, in that they did not receive the mark, not their toxin, nor in their foreheads, nor in their hands and their arms. And they lived. They came back to life. They were resurrected. They came back and they reigned with Christ, with the Mashiach. So then, that Christ is made up of those kings and judges that sit in those thrones. That is the Christ. That is the Christ. It says, but the other that were dead did not come back to life, and all the rest, and blah, blah, blah. So then, they shall fight against the Lamb. Who is the Lamb? The Lamb are the judges. The Lamb is the Christ. The Lamb is the Mashiach. Not a person. It's a group. Like a jury. Like the Son of Man. Different names. Lamb, young Messiah, new Messiah. The Son of Man. Why? Because he's a man. And he's made up by many people. The Son of Man, the Messiah, the Mashiach, the Christ. Even more, the bride of Yahweh. All different aspects of the same thing. So then, the entire world, governed by this 10 kings and the beast, they shall fight against, they're going to make war against the Messiah, against the Christ. In that the world already sees, it is visible, not like now that it's invisible. And the Messiah, or the Lamb, the new Messiah, shall overcome them. Shall overcome them. Why? It explains it, because he is Lord of Lords. He is Lord of Lords. Who are the most lords? Those that follow him. There's a group that follow him, which are the two witnesses, which are people that are not, they have not subjugated unto the beast, but also were not part of the Lamb, nor did they know him. Until they knew him, they said, I like these. We were waiting for this time. We didn't even know how it would show up. We were waiting for this group. This group, we were waiting for it. We didn't even know how. Now that we see it, we join. And possibly it'll cost their lives, that union. But the way they have their principles and their way of thinking that is very firm, they give their life. They shall fight against the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, because he's Lord of Lords. Those are the lords. Because they become lords. They become worthy people. And King of Kings. The maximum kings are the judges, but all the rest that will be with them will be kings. Why will they be kings? Because they're kings of humanity and forever. Because the decision is formed by us. We own our own destiny, aside from the destiny being written and aside from predestination. Many people, by using their free will, will get on behalf of the beast or on behalf of the Messiah. those that get on behalf of the Messiah, that they didn't follow him in their whole life, but when it is shown into the world, I don't know how. Don't ask me how. I have my ideas, but I won't tell you. But Yahweh decides it, how it'll be. When he be shown into the world, they shall say, this was what we were waiting for. Something like this. And I'll risk everything for him. And the whole system and the beast can fuck off. Those people are kings. And they'll be kings eternally. And they'll be kings over all eternity. But since this is a pyramid of government where YHWH Ekhad is, the judges are the kings of everything. They're kings of kings. They're Lord of lords. They shall fight against the Lamb. The war cometh, and the Lamb shall overcome them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And those that are with him, there it is. He speaks in singular, but it's like the Son of Man. Daniel 7, the Son of Man receives the power, the glory, and everything in the dominion of the entire world. But below that it says those that the Son of Man represents the people of the saints, which receive the power, the glory, and dominion. So then the people of the saints, the supreme saints, it's a little tiny group like this. It is this rock, another name, this rock. The rock which they shall fight against the Lamb. This one will want to kill this rock, but the rock destroys the image. It is the same story. The story of the rock destroying the image. The Lamb shall overcome them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And those that are with him, those that chose him, those that said we are not Christians, or if we are Christians, we could care less about the story that Jesus cometh, the Son of Man from heaven. No, absolutely not. You are my Jesus. You are my Messiah. You are my kings. You are my lords. Those will receive the title of kings. And also, why will they be kings? It says it. They are called, because he will call them, those that want to be on our behalf, come hither. They'll have the opportunity of choosing. The people will. It's just that the people, we already know what they'll choose. The Antichrist. Those that are with them, those that have chosen him, the young Messiah, the Lamb, are called, chosen, and faithful. Why faithful? Because I could assure you that in this time that cometh, I don't know how it'll be. I could imagine that the end would be changed, but you already know all the versions that I've given you. You already know them. But the destiny is written, and the end is inevitable. Those that want to be on behalf of the Messiah shall die before the Messiah would die for the rest. Now, they'll have to die for the Messiah. They want to be on the side of the Messiah. They have to demonstrate that they're faithful, and it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you, if really, or it's just in interest, if really you're against the system. Because there will be a war, and in that war, there will be death. But the Messiah doesn't care, because they don't understand the rest well. But the Messiah has the keys of life and death. But the rest that will join him, like, since they never followed him, they don't know those things, and they should not know them. They have to risk it for what they have in their heart, for what they really believe, for the ideals that they have. And when a person fights for an ideal to the death, they deserve a reward. If you tell them, don't you worry, that nobody's going to kill you, have that power, then already there would not be so much about risking it. There wouldn't. These people are faithful, but they have to demonstrate their fidelity. Like we studied this in Revelation 12, which is magnificent, that the woman, when she's given the wings of the eagle, that woman, which the wings of the eagle are given to him, that woman is the Lamb. And the wings of the eagle means power to fly from before the beast. That woman ends up crushing the beast, but of course, the history of the woman continues. That woman is hereby represented as the lamb. And when she receives the wings of the eagle, she'll receive power. And that power will be noticeable in the world. And when it's noticeable in the world, that now, this has to come now because we're in the hour, the last hour. The 10 kings and the beast shall say, we have to crush this woman, this lamb. Who do they think they are? Who do they think they are? And they'll join. And people will say, hey, I like this group a lot. It's a new group. It's not what they told me in the churches. It's not what my parents told me or what I read in the Bible. Because I would read and would interpret it what they told me to interpret. But I'm going to risk it for them because they'll show that there's no solution. Whether I'm from sixth or fifth column, whether I am of whatever movement, flat earther, or whether I am from whatever movement, and I'm saying movement on purpose, any movement against the system, anti-system, whether I am of whatever Germanic system per se, whether I am a simple anti-system, when I see someone with something that will bring me, because I think it's all written, will bring me in an incredible manner, I'm going to say, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that, and there will be a war. The text says they shall fight. They shall war against the Lamb. Who? The 10 horns, which are 10 kings. That for an hour they shall receive authority as kings along with the beast. The authority, they have it. That is why we were shut in. That's why they did what they did. You've already seen it. Now we need the other part. For the woman, the Son of Man, the Lamb, to receive the wings of the eagle, of the great eagle, to receive power, to receive what is promised that they have to receive. And so then, this earth will be divided. It'll be polarized. And there will be a great war. That great war, who wins it? It is written. The destiny is written. And this end is inevitable. They shall fight against the Lamb. And the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords, King of kings. And those that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. We shall continue studying this next Shabbat. But know something. Aside from here on out, I want you to know. We don't know if it's next Shabbat because we're in the very hour, in the last hour. How much does this hour last? I don't know. But from the moment in which the kings were to receive authority, and with the beast, pharmakeia, white with the red line, it would shut the humanity in. We're in the last time. And there's no turning back. This will be given, and it'll be given quickly, when you least expect it. Let us seek our Elohim. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks because you speak to us directly, clearly in the book which you wrote for us. You speak to us with a clarity that we understand every word, that we are in the last hour, and we don't know how much an hour lasts, but we are in the last instance, and we want. For those that you have chosen as a Messiah, those which you already have chosen, that you call the Messiah, the new Messiah, the young Messiah, definite one, which you call King of Kings and Lord of Lords, which you call the Son of Man. You also call it the Son of Elohim. You also call it one of the best titles, your bride, to receive power, to receive authority, to receive all the commands, all the plan. We're waiting for all that. You've already given the authority to the 10 kings and the beast. Now, your bride, your children, Your Messiah is waiting for that same authority and power. In your precious name, we ask you for these things, knowing that you will fulfill them. In the name of Yahweh Sabaoth, Hallelujah. Let Semper Fi. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew and we shall know how to achieve. Crowned with glory of gold and blue, let us live for all eternity. Hallelujah to each and every one of you. And I said, you, because you are the Son of Man, you are the Lamb. If you are the ones that were written in the book, soon we shall know. Soon we shall join together because we're in the last hour. And until then, all this shall come quickly. Semper Fi to every one of you. The destiny is written. This end is inevitable. And it'll come very soon. Hallelujah to every one of you. And long live Boca Junior. On Thursday, we have to win. Keep that in mind. Thursday, we have to win. Aguante Boca. Let's go Boca. Let's go Boca. Hallelujah to everyone who are blue and gold. Hallelujah.